Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Neptune's Pride, the second installment of this public game, you versus seven other players. And as you can see, things have progressed. So I'm just recording this 2 minutes before production hits because I wanted to show you guys what the process actually is once production hits for the first time, because I know that last time I didn't get to show that sequence because the recording software wasn't great. So I'm going to be able to show you guys exactly what happens every 24 hours in game, and I'm going to describe the decisions that I make as we make them. But there are a few things that have changed already. Even before production cycle hits us, we know that we can do work on the rest of our empire because stuff has changed. You remember last time we sent off two carriers from the Star of Re here in the center, one north up to Saddlesud and one east, to Alrecia and to Arcturus. And we wanted to grab Alrecia because it's got pretty good natural resources, but Arcturus was only a matter of having it so that once we can get hyperspace technology increase, we can get to the further eastern stars. But as you can see, the northern empire has moved closer as well, and they've done the rather intelligent move of garrisoning their star with 9 ships on it while they use the carrier with only 1 ship left in it to discover the other remaining stars. It's the same reason I took stars from Re instead of leaving them there and brought them to Saddlesud, is so that I could have a defensive front line. But Chronic does not know that just here further to the west, I've got 67 ships on the way, because I think, and I don't know about you guys, but seeing as I'm just totally pinned in here and there's nowhere for me to run, I think the only play is to actually attack with a full force early on in the game before he can really react. He's got less ships than me because I invested in more industry. He invested in a lot more economy than I did. Why didn't I buy any economy? I don't know. This is going to be a pretty abysmal production cycle, actually. What? Did I seriously only buy 6? Wait, I, I only have 1? Hold on, let me... Oh, okay. I can buy more now. Okay, I've got 20 seconds. Let's buy Alderisha because I know that Saddlesud was cheaper, but it is on the front lines, as you will. So it's just a matter of having it more defensive, because once an enemy takes a star, the economic infrastructure on it's destroyed, and then they get to actually use the industrial and scientific infrastructure that they have commandeered. So 3 seconds until production hits, and what I'm going to do, the production timer is just going to stay on 0. It's just going to stay on 0 because it's not going to go into the negatives, and you just can click it, or you can refresh the page, but you can click the actual clock and the game will refresh. You'll see the ships move forward a little bit, and when we open our mailbox, we can refresh it again. Sometimes it takes a bit for the game to actually register that the cycle is over. There it is so that 24 there represents the tick that we're on. So it won't always. So this events log will show different combat encounters, different breakthroughs in technology, what have you, and it will tell us what tick it was. It won't give us a time signature, it'll just tell us the tick. But obviously we know that 1 tick is 1 hour, so we know that this is on the 24th hour. A galactic cycle was completed, and we received $75 from our banking technology and $70 from our economic infrastructure and our experimentation technology, which I didn't really describe last time because I haven't really described any of these actually. It gives us, at the end of each production cycle, your scientists will conduct experiments that will unlock X times 72 points of research in a random technology, where X is your experimentation level. So right now, it's our experimentation level is 1, so just every cycle it's going to unlock 72 of a random thing. And we got terraforming, which is, whatever. Not bad. And I should probably describe them. So scanning, I've already described. It's the dashed line that you can see when you click a star, and that gives you information about nearby ships and stars. Hyperverse range, quite obvious. Terraforming improves natural resources, and it means that it's cheaper to develop on a star. Weapons technology is a massive deal when encountering other enemy stars, because especially in the early game, the difference between 1 and 2 weapon technology is such a huge leap. You're already given one. You've given a +1 defender's bonus if you are defending an encounter. If you are on a star and someone's invading, you not only get to make the first attack, but you also get an extra weapons bonus, which means that they need to have pretty much double the amount of ships that you have, even though they will have the same amount of technology in order to acquire a star. Banking technology, I did describe that one, and manufacturing improves our industrial capacity, and it means that for a small amount of industry, we can still have a large amount of production. So now that the production has hit, we have $140. He's going to have a lot more money than us. He's going to get 170 from his from his economic infrastructure alone, and then another 75, so 245 credits in total. So he's going to be able to do a lot of work with that. And as we can see, we can actually see, oh cool, it's within our scanning range. You might think like, oh, how can I really tell? It's right on the line there. How can we tell that it's within scanning range? And well, yeah, we can see it. So if we can see it, then we know that he can see us as well, because we have the same technology. So we may as well get this ship to work. It's got one ship on it, which is the minimum. So it's not like we're taking an army away from the front lines and we don't need to be. And we should bring this guy back in. We can eventually develop another carrier to send out east. But for now, we need to make the most of having ships that we've already got and putting them to use, because we're going to need to buy some economic infrastructure for sure. What's our science on? It's on 4 right now. I'm quite happy with that. We're not going to get in an engagement within the next 11 hours. And so I doubt we need to get weapons really quickly or anything like that. We can probably get that next cycle, more science. But for now, if we go to Galaxy, let's get some industry on Saddle Sud, Alrisha. Where's Zavijava? Down there. No, I'm not going to get that on Zavijava. Even though it's the cheapest, it's just not really worth it because it's just so far away. Sarin is probably worth it. Okay, we've got $72. That's not much. Okay, we should probably buy some more economy. Okay, there we go. How are we looking now? 10, 10, 4. It makes sense. See, okay, you might think mini games, early game, it is a wise strategy to invest heavily in things that will give you exponential returns later on. In order to buy economic infrastructure early, it means that you don't have as much money to buy industrial or scientific facilities, but it means that later on you'll have so much more money, because it's just like a snowball effect, that you'll be able to buy much more than enough to make up for that loss in the early game. Generally, in any game really, that's just general advice, I guess, to maximize XP gains early on so that you can reach higher levels quicker and therefore gain higher rewards quicker, and then that will make up for the fact that you didn't focus on having high damage output earlier, because your damage output will become exponentially greater so much faster. But for now, we are actually playing it a different way, because I understand that we're going to have massive military conflict soon because we are crammed in a corner. This plan might not pay off at all, but instead of buying economic infrastructure, I'm buying more industrial infrastructure so that we can have a steady lead against the Chronic. If we refresh this, he might have logged on. No, he hasn't logged on in the last 7 minutes, or he hasn't bought anything in the last 7 minutes, so I assume he hasn't logged on. But we've already got more than 10 ships more than him, and we can actually go here. It won't be that informative, but we can actually see in the intel, we can see where everyone is, and so we can see the white is us, and we're just barely above. Oh no, so orange I think is behind the purple guy. It's not. If we turn off purple, there we go. Is that red? Yeah, there we go. So there's orange. So doesn't look like he's actually built any industry, has he? Is he not? Oh, he hasn't built any industry because it's not a coincidence that three of them are on exactly the same trajectory, and it's just a constant just line. The rest of us have actually developed our industry a bit. Pink, all the way up here, he's developed a lot of his industry, so he won't have that much economy either. He's only got 10, so I'm doing a bit better, but he does have more ships because I only just got some more industry. So I'll be catching up soon. But for now, I've left us with 33 credits because we might need to buy a carrier last minute. For now, actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the same carrier to go to Re and go back to Saddlesuit, click save. I'm going to say yes to loop it, and then I'm going to view this, and instead of showing the instead of showing the ETA, I'm going to show the action. Once it gets to Re, it's going to collect all ships. But once it gets to Saddlesuit, we're going to tell it to drop all ships, which means we're giving it a constant supply line here between Saddlesuit and Re. And then we can also set up constant supply lines between Mulifine and Re and Alresha and Re. And yeah, again, guys, I'm actually more than willing to take suggestions of what we should name stars, what we should name carriers, or anything like that. I can change the names of all the carriers, I can change the names of all the stars, as much as we want. So chuck comments down below on what we should name them, and maybe I'll pick some of them and I'll highlight your comment. But until then, I think this is us. I'll tell you if I get into an engagement prematurely. I hope not. For now, we should probably route this, because this is going to be landing in 5 hours, again in the middle of the night. We should probably route this guy straight to Murga. He could be already heading to Murga. I might log in 5 hours actually and see what the situation is. See if we could be able to scan if he's got a ship on the way from Maya. Because if I were him, I would. But the fact that he has 9 here makes me think that if he does, it'll be a carrier with just one ship on it. Unless another one came from Samuka to Tabit and then to Maya. But it's complicated. Those are some of the things you have to think about. But for now, I think this is an alright setup. We will need to set up looping carrier orders here, definitely, so that we can consolidate our forces, bring all of our industry powerhouses to one spearhead, bring all of our ships to one point, so that they can then be sent out to the front lines. But hopefully, sooner rather than later, Chronic will be going down. Thanks for watching, guys.